Join me today as we take a look at Leatherhead from the JoyToy TMNT line, which doesn't seem to ever be slowing down. It is crazy how much stuff is getting released, and if you didn't know already, the party wagon or van, whatever you want to call it, is also up for pre-order, which looks spectacular even if it's the only thing you buy from the line. And they have a metal head and a bunch of Roadkill Rodney options. Looking at the back of the box, you got some stuff. Now, there is something very important you should know about this guy, and we'll go over that in detail because old Leatherhead gonna break. It's almost guaranteed. Sliding it out of the box, you got a nice little shot of stuff. Look at all the goodies in there. This dude is huge, and he is very, very alligator, unlike ever before. I don't think I've ever seen him this gator-like. Lots of stuff, so let's get it all in the box, and then it's important, if you buy this thing, Calcus wants you to do an unboxing. Does that mean that they want you to do what I do? No, but you should if you're interested in it. They want you to record it because it's possible that the thing that breaks during shipment, but they're not 100% sure. They just want to protect you, okay? And even though I know this thing's gonna break, it's probably gonna break when I review it. Isn't that fun? But is it enough to stop me from liking it? No, because this ain't the first Leatherhead that's had this problem at all. Not that it's a huge deal, but it's a bummer that we don't have a lot of hand options with this guy. We've had some pretty wide ranges with some of the figures, and then others you get a few at most. But that doesn't stop these from being some of the best Ninja Turtle action figure things that we've ever seen. So let's jump into all these accessories because there's still a decent amount. I mean, honestly, a lot of stuff to look at. Let's start with the basics. You get this base, which we've seen before. It's a quadrant piece, so you get 4 of these, you can make one big base. And then you get this, which is either going to be a city sewer like this, or it's going to be a foot soldier symbol. I think that's the only 2 options we've seen before, but that might not be true. Up first, well, in the accessory category or weapon category, this is hilarious. I mean, this is one of those accessories like we've seen with this line in the past where you can just use it with whatever you want. This is pretty big and will probably work with 6-inch figures. 112, it might actually be too big. Look at all the details there. You got the silver, you got the wood, you got the wraps. But look at this. They even painted the wire or the string or whatever you want to call it. And look, that's completely unnecessary and unexpected that you can actually crank the fishing line thing. And then look at that. It's nice soft, so you don't have to worry about things breaking. The whole material is soft. This is awesome. What a wild choice to put in the box, but I'm here for it. Up next, we got this shotgun, which does anything move? No. The fishing pole moves, but the shotgun doesn't. Not that either need to. It's pretty simple, honestly. There's not a lot going on here. Up next, we got this big old lobster. Looking good. It doesn't really do much, but at least you got it, I guess. Another accessory that will go well with whatever you're doing. You got somebody in the kitchen cooking, there you go. You got a beautiful rocket launcher. My goodness sakes, look at all the details here. This is awesome. I like the metallic blue for the scope. That really stands out, but this is cool, man. It doesn't really do anything except for you can put this rocket in there and then that's it. It doesn't launch, it has no play action. You just do that or you don't. I wish there was like a little plume of smoke you could attach this thing to and have it like in action. That would be awesome. This is his little tail, and if you can imagine, yes, it's gonna have some bendy wires in there. It's got a nice ball tip here made from metal of some sort, which we've seen a few times in like the hips and things of these figures. So I appreciate that there's like nice sturdy stuff in here, but just can you just take a moment, get lost in the paintwork here? Look at that. This is as if you had a company making realistic gators that you just wanted on your shelf. Well, now it's a realistic gator, but he's got a jacket and pants. So that's pretty neat. Let's look at these hands because he does have left and right of everything we're about to show. So on by default, he's got a right hand trigger finger and a left hand grippy, but he does have a left hand trigger finger and a right hand grippy. Then you also get these grippy hands, which are kind of slightly at an angle. I imagine ideal for the hole, maybe? Whatever you can fit in there. How about that? Now let's take a look at the main event here. Look at this guy. Good lord. I mean, this is just as if they partnered with some studio, like I said, that does realistic gators. And they're like, okay, can we have the head and the tail, and then we'll do the rest of it? It's awesome. How many times have I also said awesome? The only downside really is we got that spot on his jawline on both sides where the pin would be for the hinged jaw. But look at that. At the expense of being able to do this, yeah, I'll take it. I wish the depth of the throat in the back there would have been painted like a deeper mouth color. There's no articulated tongue, but you know what? That's okay. This dude looks fantastic. He kind of looks like he's crying a little bit, but he's got those gator eyes. That side looks a bit better for sure. Nice paintwork, the simple paintwork around the teeth, but you know, at this scale, it's doing wonders. And this is 1/18 scale, folks. So this dude, as big as he is, this is a 1/18 scale line, which means he's going to be pretty big compared to the turtles. He's got this strap set up that is all over his body that could definitely come off because it's kind of doing it on its own. So let's just do that and take a little gander. It's a nice pliable material, which means it should be pretty easy to mess with and not hinder articulation. You got some really good paint work going on between the brown leathers, the sculpt there. I don't think any of this stuff comes out, but it has in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised. You have this flap piece on the back, so I imagine built for the shotgun in some way. And then you have a little walkie-talkie, which also does not come out, but we've seen that happen in the past. So kind of surprising that it doesn't, but it's okay. Look at the paintwork in this jacket, also very well done. There's a lot of highlights and lowlights. The stitching sculpt is fantastic. Look at all this, the pockets. This is a very well done figure, but it's no surprise. If you've been paying attention to JoyToy at all, then you know that this is the quality of stuff that comes out of them. And since the vest is a pliable material, that comes off as well. So now you have him even closer to his scaly form, and you can see that they didn't skimp out on finishing up the product all the way throughout. Now, the only issue with this guy is that things break off, and those things, I'll finally tell you, you probably already knew, is that, which just came off. I literally didn't even do anything, and this dude just fell off. But this reminds me of the NECA one that also just fell right off. I mean, it popped right back in, doesn't even look like there's glue on here at all. So maybe they designed this to be able to take on and off, but I don't know. Calcus sent me a message saying that these have been known to fall off, and they requested you do a recording. I mean, it does look like they attempted to glue this once. Not Calcus, but JoyToy. So they had to know going into this that it was going to be an issue, because these were an issue with any figure that does this is going to be a bad call. So these things will never live on him, because it's going to hinder his articulation anyway, so who gives a crap? Whatever. It's stupid. They shouldn't have even bothered with it, to be honest. Or made it like a peg system that just pops on and off and is very clear that it's supposed to work that way. This, I imagine, will definitely also come off, because look at it's definitely part of his body, so maybe a little harder to pop off. But why wouldn't you make this something that can come off? You know, with JoyToy, they've had so many accessories like this that you can snap onto their bodies and mess with and things. So I am shocked that they would include this but not allow you to take it off, especially since it's a great accessory. Anyway, that is the biggest complaint about this so far. Also, flat hands would be great. That's a bit of a surprise. Flat hands for a guy that could potentially be running around on all fours, or at least but you could have him doing something like this where he's like in a gator pose, like he's about to hunt and chase after somebody. That would have been great. How come that doesn't exist? Anyway, the rest of the details, great work in the pants sculpt again, great boots, toe articulation, wonderful. So let's look at the articulation, because, I mean, yes, if you wanted him in a swimming in a pond thing, he could definitely do that. Or a lake, I guess you would say. Let's put his little butthole together. Starting at the top, we've got great range, as we saw, looks down perfectly. There's just a little bit of a gap in that section, which can be a little unsightly depending on the pose you're doing, but you know, again, it's at the expense of having a crazy nice range of articulation. So yes, he can do anything you want, which is honestly very surprising out of a design like this. Arms go up, nice T-pose, you got rotation there, you got bicep swivel. It looks like his elbows would go pretty far, but unfortunately, his muscles and stuff they just get in the way. And then these standard wrist pegs that they've been using. He's got great articulation in that body, considering how much is going on there. You get some really good range. Nice side to side. Look at all that. And of course, rotation. Legs go up pretty far. Great leg articulation. That's nice to see. Some swivels and stuff, again with the metal joints. And then you have some swivels here in his boots with the hinge point, and then your toe articulation. So this dude is definitely, much like the things we've seen in the past, very highly articulated. Of course, a masterful paint job, beautiful sculpt work. Biggest problem really is just everything falls apart. And I imagine a lot of people may keep this strap off of him because it just keeps flopping around on him. Like, there's no way to peg it in to lock it down, but it's a minor issue. And he can definitely live without it. I know some people complain that there was no hat on this guy, which I can understand. Also, not having a hat on him does change the experience a little bit. A little magnet would have gone a long way, but I think he's also so much more realistic as a gator that it probably just wouldn't have worked out. But let's compare this guy to some of our other JoyToy TMNT figures to see how well he scales. Scales! 3 random figures to give us a difference in the scaling, and we're gonna start, of course, with a turtle. There he is with Michelangelo, obviously insane. All the villains, well, not all of them, but most of these mutant villains have almost a 1/12 scale to them, which is awesome because then you can mix it in with some of your other stuff. Like this guy would work well really with anything because he's not like obviously Ninja Turtles. Then you have a Triceraton, which these guys are still probably my favorite of the series. This guy is so good, but he's actually just a bit shorter because of his neck and head setup, but also physically a bigger boy, I guess, in the torso. And then finally, we'll put him here with Krang, which you can see now there's like a massive difference in the overall height, but that is how it should be with Krang. Krang is such a big boy, and there's just a reminder of how big he is compared to the turtles. So this is a line that really has been shining from the get-go. The biggest issues really with this guy is just the breaking of these. But who cares at the same time, right? They should have just done it like this, where you can have a little peg, pop it on, take it off. Same thing with the grenade, and then should have allowed for this to come off to be an additional accessory. This is beautiful. You just can't deny it. What they have been doing as a brand is so spectacular. I love everything that they've been releasing except for Casey Jones, Splinter, and Shredder? There you go, folks. I will have links down in the description to this, and you can search Kaukus for all of the other turtle items. A lot of that stuff does come back in stock, so don't miss out, because this stuff has been phenomenal, and that van, like I said, has got to be the best thing from the entire line, because anybody can collect that, even if you're not collecting the figures. But I've already seen a lot of people say they've gone back to buy the turtles because the van came out, so just keep that in mind. If you want to see some more of these things get reviewed on this channel, then be sure to click that link right there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.